Don't take them back yet. Have you ever noticed that when a relationship ends, meaning someone has rejected you, and then they suddenly come back when you have finally moved on? You know, it's funny how that works, isn't it? They disappear. They tell you that they need their space. And then just at the right time, when your life is just going aces, they come back and say, I've missed you. I want to be with you. Or they see you with somebody else. And it's making them start to text you. All right, they're liking in the posts that you're putting up there. They're watching every story that you're talking about. I'm going to explain something why people come back, and more importantly, whether you should let them. Hi, everybody. It's Denise with Dating Food Talks, and I'm going to go through what to do and what not to do in this situation. And of course, I'm going to tell you what is tasty and not tasty. Also, if you need a little dating coaching, I do offer a complimentary discovery call. Just go to my website, Dating Food Talks, and you can book yourself in my calendar. If you like what I have to say, share it and give me a like. And also, please subscribe to YouTube. Okay, let's jump into this because a lot of people are overthinking this. Sorry, I have a hair in my face. Okay, people are overthinking this, and they really shouldn't, because when somebody leaves a relationship because they're not ready yet, that doesn't mean when they come back and say, I'd like to start things over again, that they're actually ready. All right? They see you thriving, and here's one of the reasons that they do come back because of that, because they kind of see a better version of you. Maybe you got promoted, you started taking care of yourself a little bit better, you've lost some weight. You've started a new business. It doesn't matter. But they're seeing you a little bit happier. All right? And that confidence can be very attractive. And then suddenly that person starts to think, did I make a mistake? Probably. But here's what you need to remember. Don't get confused because they renewed their interest. All right? Because have they generally grown? You have to think about that, because sometimes they're attracted to the version of you, all right, that they have not seen yet. And you're just starting this incredible new journey. So you want to know how to spot this in the months that someone doesn't just disappear, right? You're going to spend all your time with somebody and then they just reappear. So when you're going on a date and you're in a new relationship, you have to ask yourself, are they interested in me? Are they interested in the version of me now? And if you start to see different indications of this person, that when things are not so great with you in life, because that happens, and they're not giving you the full attention, there's a problem. So you want to know about modern dating in respect to convincing somebody is not good, because that's what people are trying to do. They're trying to convince you that they're the best version of themselves and that, you know, there's nobody else out there. But that's not what's happening in 2026. What's happening in 2026, people are swiping constantly. And because of that, they think there's somebody better all the time. So you have to pay attention to how people are treating you while you're on a date with them, you know, while you're shopping with them and you're sharing your life with them. Because if they start to back away, disappear to see if there's something better, and then they come back months later because they realize, no, there wasn't. And you're so amazing right now. And I see all your posts. You need to think twice about that. Because do you really want them back? All right? Because were you their backup plan? Because if they left for a reason. So when I talk about food talks here and you're dating somebody, you want to pay attention to how someone is treating you while you're on a date. And when life does not go so well for you, watch the little character traits of them to see if they say, well, how can I help you with that? Or do they, you know, push back and be like, oh God, you're going to be going through something like that? I don't want anything to do with it. Yeah, that's not a real partner. So when somebody moves on, they're moving on for a reason. You don't need to worry about that. You need to just pay attention to yourself and keep going. Because if somebody keeps texting you that I want to get back into your life because you're so fabulous now, all right? You want to think twice about that. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to see if maybe this person has grown, right? You don't want to go back to the person because they're jealous or they have an ego or they think, well, I was out there and there was nothing else for me. That's not your problem. They need to grow. So remember, just because someone wants your attention again, it doesn't mean that they deserve your time. So here's a real Food Talks moment here. And this is something that you can do. All right, so pay attention to this. How do I set this up? Okay, so when somebody comes back, invite them to have a lunch and then watch their behavior. Do they ask about you and do they take accountability for why they went bye-bye in the first place? Do they apologize to you or are they just going to make excuses? Because you want to watch all of that and then you will make a better decision. Food always talks and their behavior will tell you whether they have grown or whether they're just lonely. So, I want you to really think about this when this happens because it's happening to a lot of people where people are coming back because the dating apps aren't giving them what they want. They're falling into the same BS of meeting people that they're not really qualified to even have a conversation together with because AI has written their profile and it's really all fake nonsense. So, if you're going to leave a relationship, make sure that you've invested enough time with someone that you leave gracefully. And don't come back because you're lonely. That means you have to work on yourself. And if you've been left and that person has come back into your life, you need to really think, have they grown or are they just lonely? Sometimes people really do grow. They might have gone and spoken to somebody. They're working on themselves. They've become emotionally healthier. But here's the key. They don't just tell you that they've changed. They're going to show you that in their behavior by consistency, being accountable, being, vulnerable. Because that's real signs of growth. So what you want to do here is take your time, ask the right questions, watch somebody's actions, see if they have become a different person or are they just simply repeating the old patterns. You need to trust the consistency, right? What not to do here is don't get confused by loneliness with love. Don't rush back because you missed them. Don't ignore the reasons. The relationship ended for a reason. And don't believe that one apology erases years of inconsistent behavior. Tasty is taking accountability here. Constant effort, emotional growth, respecting your boundaries. Showing change through action, not just through words. Not tasty is breadcrumbing it. Someone just coming back when you started to thrive, or they're jealous. They're keeping you as a backup plan and they're making promises without changing behavior. Here's what I want you to remember. Someone who truly values you doesn't need to lose you to recognize your worth. And yes, people do come back. But coming back isn't the important part. The important question is, why are they back? Is it because of your job? Is it because that you're doing so well? Is it because, you're just so fabulous right now. You need to protect your peace. You need to understand your standards, and you need to know that in your future you want to choose the person, not the one who comes back only after all their other options have disappeared. So, in the comments, I would love to know if somebody has come back after rejecting you, and did you give them a second chance, or did you just keep on walking? All right, my single lovelies, I'm Denise. Dating Food Talks always tells you the truth. Until next time.